Who steals art and what do they do with it? It might be romantic to think that people who steal art are going to hang it in the walls of some Russian billionaire, but sadly that's not the case. People who steal art are not in it for the art, they're in it for the money. In fact, the theft of artwork and collectibles around the world is estimated to be the third largest criminal enterprise behind drugs and gun running, and some estimate it to be between 4 to 6 billion a year. So what do they do with it when they steal the artwork? If it's a statue or a sculpture, they often melt it down for the raw material. But if it's a painting, they don't want to melt it down, so what do they actually do with that asset? They find it very hard to sell it because all stolen art goes onto a national or global register. So if you sell it through a respected art dealer, they are meant to check if that art is stolen, and as soon as that happens, it trips an alert and it's seized. Given that you can't sell it, there's really two things that criminals do with it. The first is that they treat it as an underground currency. So instead of paying someone off with physical cash, you pay them off with a painting. And it's only a fraction of its actual value, but nevertheless it's used as an underground currency. Because it's easily transportable too. You can roll a painting up and carry it across borders. It's much easier than cash. The second thing that they do with it is they hold it to ransom. And that's probably one of the main drivers of art theft. So they steal a high value painting, then they call you and they say, we will destroy the artwork unless you pay us X amount of money. Now it's a numbers game. They don't really want to destroy the artwork, they just want the money. An example of that type of theft was when thieves stole Matisse's The Garden. They actually tried to ransom it immediately, but the gallery and the insurance companies didn't pay. They waited years, and they knew that the thieves didn't want to sell it or would have trouble selling it. So they just waited it out, and over a period of 2 to 3 years, they didn't do anything. They never paid the ransom. And finally the thieves broke and tried to sell it, and an art dealer picked it up and the item was recovered. But it's a risk because the insurance company is happy to pay the money. They would rather pay a $100,000 ransom than pay $1 million on a total loss of artwork. On the other hand, they don't want to pay enough to encourage that to be repeat behaviour. The gallery, on the other hand, they're art lovers. They don't care about the money, they just want to recover the priceless artwork, so they'd pay whatever it takes to get the artwork back. So it's a bit of a tussle between money on one hand and galleries on the other hand, but nevertheless, the main objective of art thieves is to convert the stolen item to money. Now, in Australia, it's rare that you get art theft from homes because thieves aren't looking for that type of thing. They can't readily sell art. Gems and jewels they can, some collectibles they can, but not artwork. But if you have a high value artwork, like a Brett Whiteley, then you are at risk of theft because thieves know that it's worth something, either underground or ransom. So that's why it's important to take into account the value of the work, the artist, and then art theft is still something that you need to be concerned with. If you're concerned about your artwork being stolen, then contact us. We can certainly help you with arranging insurance to cover that risk, but we can also help you with some tips around how to avoid it being stolen in the first place.